I am Daniel Cross, and for years I believed love meant giving everything I had until nothing remained for me. I believed a good husband carried every burden silently. I believed sacrifice was proof of devotion. I was wrong. Daniel, are you still awake? Elena asked one night. Yeah, I replied. I was waiting for you. She looked at me while removing her coat. You should sleep. You have work tomorrow. I know. I just wanted to talk. About what? I paused. About us. She sighed. Daniel, not tonight. Those 3 words became familiar. Not tonight. Not now. Not important. I remembered when Elena used to wait for me outside my office. She would hold my hand and say, "One day, we will build something amazing together." I would smile and answer, "Whatever dream you have, I will help you reach it." I meant those words. When Elena wanted to start her company, I worked extra hours. When she needed money, I used my savings. When she felt afraid, I stood beside her. Are you sure about this? I asked her during those difficult years. She held my face and smiled. Daniel, you are the reason I can do this. I promise I will never forget what you did for me. Ich trusted her. I ignored my own dreams because I thought our future mattered more than my present. But success changed everything. The woman who once needed my support became someone who barely noticed me. Your dinner is on the table, I told her one evening. I already ate. With who? Clients. You could have told me. Daniel, I am busy. I cannot report every little thing I do. I stared at her. I am your husband, Elena, and I am trying to build my career. I never stopped you. Sometimes I feel like you were holding me back. Those words hurt more than she knew. Me? I whispered. She looked away. Forget it. But I could not forget it. I started noticing small changes. She protected her phone. She smiled at messages she never showed me. She came home later. She stopped asking about my day. I wanted to believe there was an innocent explanation, because accepting the truth meant accepting that I had lost a person I sacrificed everything for. Then Marcus came back into my life, my best friend since college. Brother, you look exhausted, Marcus said when we met for coffee. I am fine. He laughed. You always say that. Things are complicated. With Elena? I looked at him. How did you know? Anyone can see something is wrong. I trusted Marcus because he had always been there. I just feel like she is becoming distant, I admitted. Marcus leaned forward. Maybe you need to remind her what she has. What do you mean? Show her your value. I nodded. I did not know those words would become a warning. Days passed, and my doubts grew stronger. One evening, Elena left her phone on the table while taking a shower. A message appeared. I did not want to look. I told myself I respected her privacy. Then another message appeared. Last night was amazing. I wish I could stay with you longer. My heart stopped. The sender was Marcus. No, I whispered. My hands shook as I opened conversation. Every message destroyed another piece of my reality. Years of friendship, years of marriage, years of trust, all gone. When Elena walked out, she froze. Daniel? I held the phone in my hand. Tell me this is fake. She became silent. Tell me I am wrong. Daniel, please. Her silence answered everything. How long? She looked down. How long, Elena? 6 months. 6 months. 6 months while I cooked for her. 6 months while I supported her. 6 months while I believed I was building a future. Why? Her eyes filled with tears. I do not know. You do not know? I felt lonely. I laughed bitterly. Lonely? I was right beside you. You changed. No, Elena. I disappeared. I gave everything to you. She cried. I never asked you to lose yourself. But you accepted everything I gave. The room became silent. Do you love him? I asked. She could not answer. That silence broke me. I packed my things that night. Where are you going? She asked. Somewhere I can remember who I am. Daniel, wait. I looked at her one last time. I spent years trying to make you love me. I should have spent those years learning to love myself. I walked away. I had no plan. No hope, no idea what came next. The rain covered my face as I drove through the empty streets. My mind kept replaying every memory. Her promises, my sacrifices, their betrayal. Why wasn't I enough? I whispered. The road blurred through my tears. Then headlights appeared. A loud crash followed. Everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, I heard a familiar voice. Daniel, wake up. I looked around. The hospital room was different. My body felt younger. What happened? I asked. The nurse stared at me. You fell during basketball practice. Are you feeling okay? Basketball practice? I looked at my hands. No wedding ring. No pain. No broken future. I grabbed my phone and checked the date. My breathing stopped. 5 years earlier. Before my marriage. Before Elena's betrayal. Before my destruction. I walked toward the mirror. The face looking back at me was mine. But younger, I touched the glass. A second chance. A life I thought I lost forever. I knew the memories inside my mind were dangerous, but they were also a gift. I could change my choices, protect my dreams, and stop chasing people who never value my heart. For the first time, I felt something I had forgotten. Hope. I was ready to begin again with courage. I closed my eyes and whispered, this time, I won't spend my life begging someone to love me. I woke up every morning expecting the pain to return. For the first few days, I kept waiting for Elena's betrayal to happen again. I expected the same arguments, the same cold looks, and the same feeling of being invisible. But nothing had happened yet. I was standing at the beginning of a road I had already walked once. This time, I knew where every mistake would lead. This is your second chance. I whispered while looking at myself in the mirror. The old Daniel was spent every second trying to make Elena happy. The new Daniel had a different goal. I wanted to save myself. When I arrived home that afternoon, I saw Elena sitting on the couch. She looked at me and smiled. You are home early. Yeah. Are you okay? I'm fine. She looked surprised. Before, I would have rushed toward her and explained everything about my day. I would have asked if she was tired. I would have tried to make her smile. This time, I simply walked past her. Daniel. I stopped. Yes. You seem different. I looked at her calmly. People change. Her expression became confused. What does that mean? It means I am learning. Learning what? I smiled slightly, to stop forgetting myself. She stared at me. For a moment, I saw the same woman who once promised to stay beside me forever. But I also remembered the woman who broke me. I could not let my memories disappear. Not again. The next morning, I started rebuilding my life. I woke up early. I exercised. I studied. I worked on skills I abandoned years ago because I was too busy supporting Elena. Every day, I became stronger, not just physically, mentally. One evening, I received a call. Hello, Daniel. I smiled when I heard the voice. Lily, my younger sister. In my previous life, she was the only person who noticed I was destroying myself. Are you free? She asked. Yeah. What happened? I want to ask you something. What? You changed. I laughed softly. Everyone keeps saying that. Because it is true. How? She became quiet. You used to talk about Elena all the time. You used to cancel your plans whenever she needed something. You used to ignore yourself. I looked down. Lily knew me better than anyone. You were always worried about making her happy, she continued. I know. So what happened? I took a deep breath. I realized something. What? I cannot build a happy life by destroying myself. There was silence. Then Lily spoke softly. I have been waiting years for you to understand that. Her words hurt because they were true. I was foolish. No, Lily replied. You loved someone deeply, but you forgot that you deserve love too. I smiled. For the first time in years, I felt understood. A few weeks later, I attended a business meeting. That was where I met Adrian Vale. He was known as one of the smartest businessmen in the industry. I expected someone arrogant. Instead, he surprised me. You're Daniel Cross, right? Yes. I read your proposal. I became nervous. And he smiled. You have talent. I looked at him. Talent. Yes, but you are wasting it. I stayed silent because he was right. You understand business strategy, Adrian said. Your ideas are practical. Your problem is confidence. I have never had the opportunity. No, he corrected me. You never gave yourself permission. Those words stayed in my mind. Mr. Vale, why are you telling me this? Because I see potential. I am not so important. He smiled. Everyone says that before they become important. I did not know it then, but that conversation changed my future. Adrian offered me a position, not because of my family, not because of connections, because of my ability. For the first time, I earned something because of who I was, not because of what I sacrificed. When Elena noticed my changes, she became uncomfortable. You have been busy lately, she said one night. Yes. With what? Work. You never used to work this much. I looked at her. You never used to care. Her face changed. Daniel, I am not trying to hurt you. Then why does it feel like you are? I stayed quiet, because I knew the answer. She was feeling the distance I once felt. You are different, she said. I know. You do not ask me where I am going anymore. No. You do not get upset when I ignore your messages. No. Why? I looked at her. Because I finally understand that chasing someone does not make them choose you. Her eyes moved away. You think I did not care about you? I think I care more about you than I cared about myself. She had no response. Months passed. My life started changing. My confidence grew. My career improved. People began respecting me. I was no longer the man standing behind someone else's success. I was creating my own. One day, Adrian called me into his office. Daniel, I want you to lead this project. I looked surprised. Me? Yes. Are you sure? He smiled. That doubt is exactly what you need to remove. I accepted the opportunity. For the first time, I felt proud of myself. Not because someone noticed me, because I noticed myself. Meanwhile, Elena started acting differently. She asked about my day. She wanted to know about my work. She tried starting conversations, but I was no longer desperate for her attention. One evening, she said something unexpected. I miss how close we used to be. I looked at her. So do I? Her eyes softened. Then why are you so far away? Because I remembered the future. Because I remembered the pain. Because I knew what happened when I trusted too easily. But I only said, sometimes distance shows us what we ignored before. She looked hurt. I did not enjoy seeing her pain. I was not becoming cruel. I was becoming strong. I had spent years trying to prove my worth to someone else. Now I was proving it to myself. A few days later, Elena watched me from across the room during a company event. She saw people respecting me. She saw confidence in my eyes. She saw a man who no longer needed her approval. She whispered quietly, "Who is this man?" Her voice trembled. The man I ignored is finally becoming someone I can't reach. I never expected a stranger to understand my pain better than the people who had known me for years. My life looked perfect from the outside. I had a growing career. I had confidence. I had people respecting me. But deep inside, I was still carrying the memories of my old life. The betrayal, the lies, the feeling of being replaced. I thought becoming successful would erase those wounds. It did not. I realized that during a business event organized by Adrian. I was standing near the entrance when I heard a voice behind me. Are you always as serious, or is today special? I turned around. A woman was standing there with a small smile. I'm sorry. She laughed softly. You look like someone who came here to fight a war, not attend a business event. I smiled slightly. I guess I have a lot on my mind. I noticed. I looked at her curiously. You noticed? Yes. Most people notice my success. She looked at me carefully. I noticed your silence. Those words surprised me. Nobody talked to me like that. I'm Sophia, she said. Daniel. I know. I raised an eyebrow. You know me? Adrian mentioned you. I smiled. Hopefully only good things. He said you are talented, but still don't believe in yourself. I laughed. That sounds like Adrian. Sophia smiled. You disagree? I think I have changed. You have. Her answer surprised me. How do you know? Because confident people usually look happy. You look like someone who became strong, because he had no other choice. I became quiet. She had seen through me in minutes. You always analyze people like this? I asked. No. Then why me? She looked away for a moment. Because I recognize that expression. What expression? The expression of someone who survived something painful but never healed. Her words touched a place inside me I tried to ignore. For years, I convinced myself I was fine. I was not. I changed the subject. You seem very honest. Is that a bad thing? No. Good. We both laughed. That small conversation should have meant nothing, but somehow it stayed in my mind. Over the next few weeks, I saw Sophia often. Unlike Elena, Sophia never asked what I could provide. She never cared about my achievements first. She cared about me. One afternoon, we sat at a quiet cafe. You are always thinking, Sophia said. I do that a lot. About work. I looked at my coffee. About the past. She became silent. You don't have to tell me. No, it's okay. I took a deep breath. I trusted someone completely. And they destroyed that trust. Sophia looked at me. I'm sorry. I thought I would hate them forever. But I don't know anymore. What changed? I looked outside the window. I got a second chance. She smiled. That sounds important. It is. I wanted to tell her everything. About waking up again. About knowing what would happen. About the pain I escaped. But I stopped myself. Some truths were too impossible to explain. I want them to regret what they did. I admitted. Sophia did not judge me. She simply asked, why? Because they hurt me. That is understandable. I want them to feel the same pain. She nodded. But will that fix yours? I stayed quiet. I don't know. Sophia leaned back. Daniel, sometimes we think revenge will give us peace. And it doesn't. Sometimes it only keeps us connected to the people who hurt us. Her words bothered me because they felt true. Meanwhile, Elena started trying to come back into my life. One evening, she called me. Daniel, can we talk? About what? About us. I closed my eyes. I knew this conversation would come eventually. We already talked about us. No, we didn't. Elena, please, just listen. I remained silent. I know I have changed. I almost laughed. Change? That word had haunted me. I made mistakes, she continued. Yes. Her voice became softer. I miss you. Those words would have destroyed the old me. But not anymore. I hope you find peace, Elena. That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? I don't know. That is the problem. Silence followed. You really don't need me anymore, do you? I looked down. I needed you before. And now I need myself. The call ended quietly. I felt pain, but not the same pain. This time, I was not losing someone. I was protecting myself. Then I heard about Marcus. His perfect image started falling apart. People discovered his lies. Business partners stopped trusting him. Friends started questioning him. Adrian told me one day, Marcus is facing problems. I stayed calm because of his choices. You don't feel happy? I thought about it. No. Adrian looked surprised. Why? Because watching someone fall does not rebuild what they broke. That was when I realized I was changing. The old Daniel wanted revenge. The new Daniel wanted freedom. But forgiveness was not easy. Some nights, I still remembered Elena's betrayal. Some nights, I still imagined confronting Marcus. I still had anger inside me. I was not completely healed. One evening, Sophia and I walked through the city. You are quieter today, she said. I was thinking. About revenge? I smiled slightly. How did you know? Because you always look different when you talk about the people who hurt you. Different how? Like you were fighting a battle that already ended. I stopped walking. Her words hit me. The battle already ended? Yes. But they hurt me. I know. Then why shouldn't I make them pay? Sophia looked at me. I'm not saying they don't deserve consequences. Then what are you saying? I'm asking if their suffering will truly make you happy. I looked away. I wanted to answer quickly. I wanted to say yes. But I couldn't. Sophia took a breath. Daniel, if you finally get revenge on everyone who hurt you, she paused, will you really be happy? I looked at her. For the first time, I had no answer. Because deep inside, I realized something terrifying. I had spent so much time planning how others would lose. I never asked what I wanted to gain. I used to believe success was the best revenge. I thought one day Elena and Marcus would look at me and regret destroying my life. But as my world started changing, I realized something. I no longer needed their regret to prove my worth. My success was not about making them feel pain. It was about becoming the person I was supposed to be. Months passed, and my career reached places I never imagined. The project Adrian gave me became one of the biggest achievements of my life. One afternoon, Adrian called me into his office. Daniel, sit down. I smiled. That sounds serious. It is. I looked at him. You are no longer the same person who walked into my office months ago. I hope that is a good thing. It is. He handed me a file. What is this? A leadership position. I looked at him in surprise. Are you sure? Why do you always ask that? Because I never thought someone would trust me this much. Adrian leaned back. Daniel, your biggest problem was never your ability. Then what was it? You spent your entire life waiting for someone else to see your value. His words reminded me of my old life. I had begged for love, begged for appreciation, begged to matter. Not anymore. I understand now, I said. Adrian smiled. Good, because the world respects people who respect themselves. I accepted the position. For the first time, I felt proud, not because Elena noticed, not because Marcus regretted, because I knew I earned it. But while my life was moving forward, theirs was falling apart. I heard about Marcus through old contacts. The man who once appeared perfect was finally being exposed. His lies had reached everyone. His business partners stopped trusting him. His friends started walking away. One day, Adrian mentioned his name. Marcus is struggling. I continued working. I expected that. You don't feel anything? I stopped typing. What should I feel? Anger? Satisfaction? I shook my head. No. Adrian looked surprised. After everything he did? I looked out the window. I spent enough time carrying anger. That is a mature answer. I don't want my future controlled by someone from my past. That was the difference between who I was and who I became. The old Daniel wanted revenge. The new Daniel wanted peace. A few days later, I received a message from Elena. Can we meet? I stared at those words for a long time. The old memories returned. Her smile, her promises, her betrayal. I almost ignored the message. But something inside me wanted closure. So I agreed. We met at a quiet restaurant. When Elena walked in, I noticed something different. She was not the confident woman who once believed she had everything. She looked tired. Daniel. Hello, Elena. She sat across from me. For a few moments, neither of us spoke. Finally, she whispered, You look different. I am different. She looked down. I know. I waited. I heard about your success. Okay. That's all you have to say? What should I say? She looked hurt. I don't know. I almost smiled because those words sounded familiar. Years ago, I had said the same thing. Elena, why did you want to meet? She took a deep breath. I wanted to apologize. I stayed silent. I know an apology cannot fix what I did. No, I know I hurt you. Yes. Her eyes filled with tears. I was selfish. I looked at her. You were? She accepted my honesty. I thought success was everything. And now I realize I lost something more valuable. I knew what she meant, but I needed to ask, what did you lose? She looked at me, someone who truly loved me. Those words were painful, because they were true. For years, I loved Elena more than myself. I spent so much time trying to make you happy, I said. I know. No, you don't. She looked confused. I lost pieces of myself trying to keep us together. Her eyes became emotional. I'm sorry. I believe she meant it. But forgiveness was complicated. I forgive you. She looked surprised. You do? Yes. Then I interrupted. But forgiveness does not mean we return to the past. Her expression changed. I understand. I cannot become that person again. I know. She looked away. I wish I understood your value earlier. I said nothing, because some regrets arrived too late. After the meeting, I called Sophia. She immediately noticed something was wrong. What happened? I met Elena. How do you feel? I thought about it. Different. Different good or different bad? I smiled. Different peaceful. Sophia walked beside me silently. Then she said, That means you are healing. I think so. Do you still hate her? I looked at the street ahead. No. Do you forgive her? Yes. Then what is stopping you from moving on completely? I was quiet. My memories. Sophia nodded. That makes sense. I remember everything. You don't have to erase your past. Then what do I do? Accept that it happened, but don't let it decide who you become. Her words stayed with me. Later that week, I saw Marcus one final time. He looked different, broken, angry. Daniel. I stopped. What do you want? He laughed bitterly. Look at you. What about me? You got everything. I looked at him. No, Marcus. Then what? I got myself back. He became quiet. You think you won? I shook my head. This was never a competition. After everything I did? Yes. Why aren't you angry? Because I refuse to become someone like you. His face changed. I walked away. Not because I was stronger than him. Because I no longer needed to prove it. Days passed. My life continued. I built new relationships. I created new memories. I stopped living in the shadow of my past. But one evening, Elena came to my office. I was surprised. Elena, she looked nervous. Can I ask you something? Sure. She stepped closer. I had been thinking about something for a long time. I waited. Her voice became softer. After everything that happened, she looked into my eyes. Did you ever love me after you came back? I froze. The question hit deeper than I expected, because the answer was not simple. I remembered the woman I loved. I remembered the woman who destroyed me. I remembered the life I lost. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came, because the truth hurt more than any lie. I stayed silent. I stayed silent because I knew any answer would change something. Elena looked at me, waiting. Daniel. I looked away for a moment. The old me would have answered immediately. I would have said yes. I would have told her that I never stopped loving her. I would have begged for another chance. But I was not that man anymore. I did love you, I finally said, her eyes filled with tears. Then why did you leave? I took a deep breath. Because loving someone does not mean losing yourself. She lowered her head. I hurt you. Yes. I wish I could change that. I know. She looked at me. Do you hate me? I shook my head. No. Then what do you feel? I thought carefully. Acceptance. She looked confused. What does that mean? It means I accept what happened. I accept that you made choices. I accept that I made mistakes too. What mistakes? I forgot my own value. Silence filled the room. I spent years thinking if I love you enough, you would never leave. My voice became quieter. But love cannot force someone to appreciate you. Elena wiped her tears. You've really changed. Yes. Can you forgive me? I looked at her. I already did. She smiled sadly. But you cannot come back. I shook my head. No. She closed her eyes. I understand. It hurt seeing her like that, because despite everything, I was not happy about her pain. I did not want revenge anymore. I wanted peace. Before leaving, Elena stopped me. Daniel. I turned around. Thank you. For what? For loving me when I did not deserve it. I nodded. Take care of yourself. Elena, you too. I walked away. This time, I did not feel broken. I felt free. A few days later, I met Sophia. We sat in the same cafe where we had our first real conversation. She smiled. You look peaceful. I laughed. That obvious? Yes. How? Because you are finally not fighting yourself. I looked at her. She always understood things I never said. I talked to Elena. I know. I looked surprised. How? You have a different expression. I smiled. She apologized. And I forgave her. Sophia nodded. That is good. But I did not go back. I knew you wouldn't. I looked at her. You did. Yes. Why? Because you finally learned the difference between missing someone and needing them. Her words made me smile. You know, you always say things that make me think. That is my job. Your job? Yes. Someone has to remind you when you become too serious. I laughed. For years, I had forgotten what happiness felt like. With Sophia, I did not feel like I needed to prove anything. I did not need to earn love. I did not need to beg for attention. I could simply be myself. Months passed. My life continued moving forward. I built my career. I created meaningful relationships. I became someone I respected. One evening, I visited a place I had avoided for years, the old road where my life had changed. I stood there quietly. The memories came back. The pain, the fear, the moment when I thought everything was over. I remembered the old Daniel, the man who gave everything away, the man who believed his worth depended on someone else's love. I'm sorry, I whispered, not to Elena, not to Marcus, to myself. I should have protected you sooner. The wind moved around me. For the first time, those memories did not hurt. They reminded me how far I had come. Marcus eventually disappeared from my life. I heard small things about him, his failures, his struggles, his loneliness. But I never searched for him. I never celebrated his downfall, because his punishment was not my happiness. My happiness was my own journey. One night, Sophia asked me something. Do you ever think about your old life? I smiled. Sometimes. Do you regret it? I thought about the question. No. She looked surprised. Really? Yes. Even after everything? I nodded. Because if I never experienced that pain, I would never have become this person. Sophia smiled. That sounds like something you would not have believed before. I laughed. You are right. The old me would have only seen loss. The new me saw lessons. I finally understood why I was given another chance. It was not to destroy my enemies. It was not to make Elena regret leaving. It was not to rewrite every painful moment. It was to save myself. Years ago, I thought winning meant watching the people who hurt me suffer. Now I knew the truth. The greatest victory was waking up every morning without anger controlling my heart. The greatest revenge was becoming happy without needing anyone's permission. I looked at my reflection one final time. I saw someone different. Not a broken husband. Not a betrayed friend. Not a man begging to be loved. I saw someone who had finally found himself. I smiled, because the person I spent my whole life searching for was me. I thought about everything I lost. My old marriage. My old dreams. My old identity. And strangely, I was grateful, because losing everything forced me to discover what truly mattered. Love was important, but self-respect was necessary. Forgiveness was powerful, but letting go was freedom. A second chance was not about changing every mistake. It was about becoming strong enough to accept the person you were meant to become. I looked at the road ahead and walked forward. No fear, no anger, no regret, only peace. I thought being reborn meant changing my past, but I was wrong. My second chance was never about rewriting my story. It was about finally becoming the person I was always meant to be.